The number one thing to look out for when choosing a partner. Speaking as a guy, and for guys, the number one mistake that we make when choosing a partner, and when partner I mean someone that matters to you, someone that actually matters to you, that you love, that you trust, that you can build a meaningful life with, someone at that level. When you are choosing that someone, a very common mistake that I see a lot of times with us guys is we choose primarily, firstly, and most importantly, we make that screening process primarily based on looks, based on appearance. This is not a problem itself. It only becomes a problem if it blinds you, if it blinds us guys from seeing what is really the more important thing beyond the surface. It only becomes a problem if you make that connection, you develop that attraction only and primarily based on looks. What are the things that really goes on behind that layer, behind that appearance? Because those are the things that eventually, very quickly, you're going to be facing on a daily basis, on a very frequent basis, because you're sharing a life together. What are your values? What are her values, right? What are your habits? What are her habits? What are your goals? What are her goals? There are so many things that just goes beyond only looks itself. Unfortunately, when it comes to attraction, a lot of times we make that decision because they are physically attractive. And as a guy, as a human being, that applies to me as well. The only thing is, I make it a point to also screen, to also observe that, hey, behind this appearance, are there things that I should know about? Are there things that I should observe in order to better understand my partner, better have that stronger understanding, that stronger chemistry, that stronger connection, and develop that meaning. What I want is meaningful relationships when we are building something together, moving towards something together, as opposed to just very superficial and just physical stuff. I look at this whole thing almost like a spiritual journey, a shared spiritual journey. So if when you choose purely based on looks, you're going to miss all these things that matter, and sooner or later you're going to start seeing the things that come out later, and those might be problems. Um, I certainly hope it's not going to be, because if after you choose based on looks and then you realize that, hey, when it comes to certain values, we are not compatible. When it comes to certain thinking, the match is not there, then that's how like endless fights, endless arguments are gonna start, right? So even if you find the person attractive, you still have to look out for how the person really thinks. And this takes time, takes conversation. And one thing I read from this article sometime back is a very, very good way is actually to simply just travel with your partner. Um, but you avoid the luxurious stuff, you actually make it somewhat challenging, somewhat low budget, somewhat uncomfortable, because it is during uncomfortable situations you really see a lot in another person, right? When things are nice, when things are fancy, when things are easy, it's very, very hard to see what's beyond the superficial. On the other hand, when things get rough, when things get challenging, you will easily find out a lot about how we're going to manage conflict, how we're going to manage fear, how we're going to manage emotions, how we're going to deal with things together, how we're going to solve things together, how we're going to continue respecting each other, how we continue giving each other, serving each other when it's not fun anymore, when it's not easy anymore, when it's not attractive anymore. You see, when you just go based on looks itself, you miss on so many things. And I'm not saying looks are bad, I'm saying looks are good, and what's beyond that is way more important, because uh, the superficial comes and goes. The non-superficial is going to be there with you every single day. So don't be like most guys and make that very common mistake. You can still, enjoy that initial attraction, enjoy the physical, enjoy the superficial, and in the end, you must realize the most important thing is how you treat each other, how she treats you, and how you are able to treat your partner as well. Not when things are easy, but when things are not easy, when things are tough. And as a guy, actually as a human being, you gotta have standards and you have to know what your standards are. What is your expectation of what it means to be a proper human being? What is your expectation when it comes to being a proper partner? When it comes to being a proper person? What are your expectations when it comes to treating people? People that cannot help you, people that can help you, people that are close to you, people that are not close to you. You have to have that basic set of expectations for yourself, and then you have to see, hey, this person that I'm going to be sharing a life with, do we have the same standards? And if your standards are being compromised, then you have to ask yourself, what is happening? Am I able to accept such standards? If you are not able to accept such standards, then you will have to communicate that very clearly. Say, why is this happening? This is my expectations, and this is why. This is my thinking, and this is why. What are yours, right? You want to have that very clear understanding of beyond just superficial, because all of this is going to result in how she treats you and how you treat her. Because the superficial things, the content of what you will say, like those, they change by the second, right? All this content, they change by the second. The process, that doesn't change. How I choose to treat you and how you choose to treat me, regardless of the content, that will never change. That is the important thing. So if regardless of the content, regardless of deciding where to eat, what to go, what to wear, what to say, in the end, if the process is I choose to always treat people with respect, I always choose to respect myself, I always choose to communicate responsibly, I always choose to be fair to you, be fair to me, be respectful to you, be respectful to me. All these standards are met, then quite frankly, there is no problem that cannot be solved as a couple, as a unit. There is no problem that cannot be solved when you are aligned and united. So that's the reason why I'm not giving you any content, because to me, the content is something that always changes, it's always being manifested, and you can never predict what kind of new content is going to come out. But the process, that never change. And the process when it comes to relationship is how I treat you and how you treat me. Can you see how unrelated this is to looks? Because the superficial things, they come and they go. But what will stay, will stay. And that is what, that's the number one thing that I think that us guys, or actually any human being, should look for when you are finding a partner, right? Whether it's for relationships, whether it's for business. I always believe that what is superficial, it's important at a certain level, and after that, the things behind, that is the one that you're going to be living with and dealing with on a daily basis. So observe carefully, pick wisely, um, you know, go through difficult times together, and that will pretty much show you everything you need to see. And in the end, have your own sets of standards, respect your standards, understand yourself, and stand by them and believe in them, communicate them well, and seek to understand other people as well, and build that connection, that meaningful connection. And to me, this is the foundation of every successful relationship, right? And if at the end of the day it's not a fit, then maybe it's just not a fit. So this is my take on this matter. Let me know what you think. Let me know what is your number one thing that you look out for when choosing a partner. Type it in the comments below. Remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so every time I release a new video, you get notified. And if you know of a friend that needs to hear this message, tag them in the comments below, send them the URL, the link to this video. You never know whose life you will impact when you take an action as small as this. Last but not least, any further questions that you know I will be able to be of help, send them my way at Telegram, Sean Sena, Seansena. Until next time, I had great fun making this video. It's Sean Sena. Have a great day.